That's not what's confirmed, so carry on.
Yeah, of course. It's a map where you can quickly make rotations because the back to high grounds are parallel. What's nice to see, however, is Gigantti is coming out on this point. They are starting with the composition, which is free-free, also known as floats. You're with the monkey involved here. This means that there is a little bit more of a counter dive potential, but it's more about basically throwing your monkey in like a cannonball with a projected barrier on it. Then he creates space, drops a shield, and then retreats.
1 point on the offense. They're going on for a slightly less flavor of mobile flavor of go. It's mainly dictated by the fact that Latex is on that Reinhardt. They might change things up once they see what Gigantti have to offer, but they might want to commit to this one as they're moving in through that choke nice and early. Milky Man with that projected barrier. Less of a cannonball, more of a pebble in the water in terms of the impact he had just there. That's absolutely fine as 1 point are wrapping around. They want to take away that oppressive high ground you also mentioned at the beginning of the map. But Milky Man doesn't want to let them emerge. And I think 1 point just waiting for the cooldowns. Zappe opens it up with a pick on the Horfix. Scaler doing the exact same thing onto Lilbo. Milky Man back onto the point. He's got a Reinhardt swinging at him. He's got to think fast, and he dives back to help his team. Latex buying some time for himself with that shield. Will get healed back up.
The longer this goes on for, the worse it is for 1 point because you are feeding charge over to Milky Man because he has that cleave with the Tesla cannon.
Yes.
Usually you wouldn't really win out versus the Reinhardt, but because there is so much high ground for Milky Man to retreat to, not anymore.
There was certainly a grave for him to retreat to as Mira's going to go ahead and cut through him. Transcendence onto the point, committed by 1 point. Just using ultimates on cooldown to try and win this fight. And they've got point control. Davin working towards that grab, has it as an option, just plants it straight into the shield. Point blank range into Latex. Self-destruct. Going to buy some more space, but Horfix there to clean up Davin afterwards. Gigantti still fighting this one, but spawn advantage heavily in favor of 1 point. They can get those reinforcements so much faster. Yet though, Team Gigantti on that point, pushing them back with the Primal Rage, swinging those hands, self-destruct. Not going to find anyone. Horfix certainly will. He takes out Facility on the Brigitte. Now Milky Man wants to lock him in the room, still contesting this point, but they're getting the progress in favor of 1 point. Over 2/3 done. Latex with the charge onto Milky Man. I think 1 point have done enough to take it.
Yeah, it's a nice boost from Eng towards the end there to set up Latex for the nice charge onto Milky Man, who is going to immediately switch over the Reinhardt as you come into point B, where there is less high ground to play around with. Team Gigantti lose this one just because Milky Man goes down early and then Davin is not able to stay alive with any shield. He is the carry of this team. Once he goes down, it's much more difficult to retain on point.
The hammer went down. No one else followed through afterwards, though, because it's blocked out by Milky Man's Shatter. No, Shatter his shield, sorry. Zap is going to be stunned up, but not under too much threat. Soundbearer coming out to make sure that happens. Mirror's sitting on the rally provided by Horfix. As Tech36 wants to contest the high ground that Zappitz has. Team Gigantti weren't going to fall down to momentum, but they're throwing a self-destruct into the back, and clearance was there to keep everyone alive, apart from Milky Man and Lilbo, who were taken out by Mirror and Horfix respectively. At 1 point, pushing him into that spawn corridor. Unable to let them get onto the point. You got 2/3. You don't want to go too early. You got a spawn advantage, but you can't drip feed through. But you have to contest it because they're at 92%. Mirror again finding Facility. Zap is locked down in the corner with the D-Mix. You can't defense Matrix a laser beam, and you certainly can't defense Matrix and Earth Shatter as you've been knocked down onto the floor. Graviton Surge onto the point, and look at this, 1 point just in control of this on point B. They're going to even throw the Transcendence just to stall it out a little bit longer. But Mirror, he's dealing the damage. He's standing up in this position, playing the Zarya, making it work. 1 point, full complete.
And that is what Team Gigantti are struggling with there, is Mirror is just outputting bucket loads of DPS. So it's very difficult for them to deal with that, especially when your Rhine in other like circumstances would potentially live there if they didn't have such a competent Zarya on the team. He goes down, and then Davin's just completely open. It's like the shell around the crab has been opened once again. And, you know, it's very, very, very tough for Team Gigantti to remain on point after that. It's exactly why point A went over. Davin went down after the main tank was removed. So 1 point, they do have a clear plan here, and they're executing it fairly perfectly.
I like the crab analogy. I would have gone with caught with his trousers down. But
proverbial.
Proverbial indeed. But Team Gigantti now going to move on to the offense. 4 minutes 50 still remaining for 1 point. Of course, they get that extra 30 seconds if they capture point A on that second.
It's like a spicy fingers at me.
Spicy. It's like rubbing your fingers together. You know, like where's the dosh? Where's the
sweet 30 seconds?
Sweet 30 seconds going to be given over to them if they capture point A. But of course, to get to that stage, Gigantti just need to complete in general.
Absolutely. So Gigantti versus this 4-minute 50 time bank. It looks like One.PoinT they have sprung back now, which is good to see. I think there is a lot of potential in this team for sure. But Team Gigantti, main thing that we need to see more of is support to Milky Man that we saw in Iconvold, where you saw the health just bump up straight away because they need to keep Davin alive. I think Davin is absolutely one of the hard carries on this team at the moment, and he puts in so much work, but he's coming up against Mira, who is probably a very, very much his equal at the moment.
Definitely standing shoulder to shoulder with him. One.PoinT on the defense. They've gone for the slightly more mobile GOATS composition. Latex on the Winston. And Team Gigantti, they've done exactly what One.PoinT did, except, you know what? They're going to flip the book a bit and go to the opposite side when they breach through that choke. Taking this high ground away, moving across the walkway. And they want to take that back mega away from them, and they're going to emerge from this.
Yeah, this prevents the dime because it gives you cover overhead and prevents early cleave from Latex.
They're onto the point already. Latex sitting on the point, just trying to chip away, and they're splitting the attention by putting Tech 3-6 off to the side. So they can try and get around the shield that's being held up by Milky Man because, well, Latex is going to be able to burn through it with the Tester Cannon, 91 HP. Zapping's actually going to the wall to get him, and he's going to be punished because Latex is going to take him out with the help of Horfix. So very greedy by Zappe. He's going to lose his life for it as Eng trying to dance around on Lucio. Dan's going to cut through him. You can tell he's a bit of a DPS player. He knows how to aim this gun. Cutting through them, all on the point. This looks like Team Gigantti's going to get away with point A.
Mira, though, still a bit of pain in the neck for Team Gigantti, that's for sure. Constantly on the flank here, and Davin, one of these Zaryas, not quite to the speeds of Generation of Ultimate like hardest you see, but Mira is very much keeping up with Davin, who is one of the best Zaryas in the region. So it's very, very nice to see here. Mira, we know he's on the top of the ladder a lot of times, but Team Gigantti here, let's look at the ultimates. That's 6 right there. That's a full
intimidating.
6-pack.
They're definitely going for a momentum play here onto the point, and Scalar's already been dropped. He's going to die with Transcendence Blank. That is not good for One.PoinT. Milky Man facilities, Zappe already opened it up. They're keeping everyone away from the point. 2/3 of the pie. Just need that final slice. That's exactly what they're trying to do, is they just cut through. Actually, Zappis gets away with consuming the grab from Mira. Even more unfortunate. We fought 4 minutes 50 with a sizable time back. Team Gigantti, they're like, here, hold my beverage as they go in and try and get it even faster time. But there's Horfig on the Doomfist, looking for the store end. Can't touch. Team Gigantti complete as well. We're going to do Volskaya all over again.
We'll do it all night long, Tridd. That's what we're going to do here. But Mira, though, you know, he's saying hold my beverage. He's more like, can you just eat my graviton, please, maybe? Thank you very much. But yeah, it's
you just spoon-fed him that one.
He did spoon-fed it, but actually it comes down to mind games, though. That's because really in that situation, the only counterplay you have to a grav like that, where your main tank goes down early, is you have to counter-grav them. And you know, Zappis, he has a lot of experience, so he knows that the grab is coming, and even with the 2-second delay between Diva Matrix flashes now, he knows that he has to hold up in that moment to prevent his team from being stopped short from getting to the grab, so they can swing into it with the 75 damage per swing from the Rhine and getting that mortar damage in as well as.
Team Gigantti obviously going to be on the defense. They possess the higher time bank, so that's their luxury of choice. Not really a choice, they're just forced into it, but it's a bit of a luxury to go on defense first, I'd say.
No choice, Sonny Jim.
No choice, and they're going to stand there on point A, running out with the same composition they were doing, so quite comfortable, clearly. If anything went wrong for them, they must have thought it was on execution rather than the composition itself.
Yeah, I fully agree with the floats composition, especially on point A here. I definitely think that One.PoinT, if there's anything they learned coming into this one, is to not give Milky Man so much time to get that cleave damage through. Maybe take the same route that Team Gigantti did there, and you might see that, though they are going left to begin with, so we might see, it's the same rollout.
Sticking to their guns, going through the interior, that Tesla cannon going to hit multiple members. Milky Man
the same thing
already on 20%. They might go for the old ropey, though. No, they went for the bamboozle. They caught Milky Man off guard, but they're going to go straight to the point. None of this high ground malarkey. Speaking of malarkey, Eng's going to have some back in the spawn room. So is Lil Bo. Zappe going to avenge his fallen teammate. Takes out Scalar. Team Gigantti going to hold back this first offensive.
It was very, very good. The problem with this now, though, Tridd, is it won't work again. It was a great feign, but now Team Gigantti are wise to it. So now they probably won't fall for that one again. Milky Man is using shield a little bit early. I'm not sure if that was a misclick the first time, but he definitely needs to keep that for Davin, because that's where Davin really fell short. I know the Winston shield is the only stationary shield, really should be used for just preventing cooldowns, but Davin really does need it here, because that's exactly who One.PoinT is targeting at the moment.
You're about to unleash the pure and primal rage from Milky Man as he's just giving over so much Tesla Cannon. That's why he's up there so high. Projector barrier comes in a little bit too late. He's already booped off the high ground. He's going to have those jump jets ready to go and get himself back into position onto the high ground. Hang on a minute. You've got to protect Scalar. He's under threat here from having his circuit shorted by this Tesla Cannon. As he pushed them into the corner, Latex caught up guard. Zappe going to deal with that one quite handedly, and Milky Man pretty much uncontested. They're more concerned with other things on Team Gigantti as Zappis with the boosters going to take out Tech 3-6. Not many ults committed there by Team Gigantti, still pushing back 1 point. 3 minutes 10 on the clock.
It seems that after seeing the initial push from One.PoinT, Team Gigantti, they've analyzed it, broken it down, and now Zuppe's like, I'll deal with it, mate.
Impressive to do it in-game.
Yeah, they're not missed a beat whatsoever. They're staying calm. It's a very mature roster here.
And here comes the change-up. One.PoinT taking the other route of ingress that we see teams taking. Davin's got that grab ready to go. If they try and emerge out of Mega, they could just get rushed into that point nice and easily. Going to stay on the high ground for now. Davin's going to circle a bunch of damage.
Matrix out. Free grab.
I don't know if he's going to commit to it just yet. Miro committing to the grab, actually just isolating Milky Man, who has Primal Rage, hits the DPI, spins around really fast and jumps to safety. That's an ult that didn't really provide much other than a Primal Rage. Milky Man's going to get back into the fight. Graviton Surge. Going to be committed, holding them together. Self-destruct finds two, but Tech's going to trade it straight back with one of his own. That's more advantageous for One.PoinT. They've got the closer spawn room. They can get the reinforcements faster, keep this alive. Team Gigantti, I don't even know want to open it up. Zappish, you got the Bunny Blaster. No!
Milky Man's still going.
Apparently, the Hammer's going to take out the gun instead. Latex, so they're alive. Flame Strike on the Milky Man. He can't take a swing. Nice little, just tasered him in the back there. He's like, turn around, go on, do it, and then right in the spine.
It definitely is the SBD squad back again, preventing them from staying on the point for too long. But yeah, Davin went down early again there, and it did put a spanner in the wrench there. Oh, spanner in the wrench. I'm not sure.
Spanner is a wrench.
Works. Yeah, spanner in the gears. I meant to say. But yeah, Team Gigantti, very well played from them. Davin though, it seems that they're able to perform without him.
Not going to take any odd routes. They're just going to run straight to the back, try and get a kill. Horvik bit off more than he can chew. Going to be taken out by Facility. Sound barrier committed by Lilbo. Just going to push 1 point away from this one. Facility has to take cover a bit. Latex will hit that shadow on the back line. Flame Strike just missing by a whisker. The charge certainly works as he takes out Davin again. Nice and early into the fight. So Davin still dropping down early, but Zappis is there for the cleanup duty. Zappe's throwing those hands. Your defense mate's going to last you so long. I think he got demeched off the side of the map. Tech 3-6, back to the spawn room.
Zappe is quite literally part of every single kill. He's positioning exceptionally well. It is funny because the guy is getting down so much damage down range so far. The disco orb sticking up. So when Davin goes down, they do have that other carry in the form of Zappe to keep them through.
40 seconds remaining. 4 ults on the board for Team Gigantti. 4 the same on 1 point. How are they going to use them, though? Graviton Surge keeps Milky Man locked in there. Self-destruct. Down. It's not going to find anyone because they jump to cover just in time. Primal Rage, Rally, Self-destruct coming out from Gigantti. There's the Transcendence from Scalar, but Eng's already been caught out. So they're missing a hippity-hoppity frog as Milky Man moves back onto the point with the Tesla Cannon. He's on the back line trying to distract them, but 1 point pressing forward towards Mega, trying to condense in Gigantti. They're having none of the shenanigans, though, Blank. Milky Man takes out Horvik. Facility's going to drop down as well. Not much gas in the tank for 1 point, but they have set expectations of the percentage. 72% is what Team Gigantti's going to have to match.
And we saw how quickly they took point A the first time. Really, that whole point, though, came down to Eng dying first. And it's a great setup from Zappis and Milky Man. He throws a Fist of Fury, but they are calculated, if not angry. He knocks Eng up into the air, and he gets taken out, which means that now the mobile comp with a Winston that Team Gigantti's playing is able to move around, whereas 1 point they're fixed to one area. And slowly but surely, Team Gigantti are going to circle around them and take them down.
Okay, so the good takeaway there from that round by 1 point is because they captured over 33%, got some percentage on the board. It wasn't a full hold. There is win potential, and that's so crucial in the series, Blank, because if they would have got to a point with no capture, it's a draw. they've lost the series. Because they cannot purely meet the map score coming out from Gigantti. So they've kept their series win hopes alive by getting that percentage. They've got a bit of an uphill struggle, though. 5 minutes 51 in the time bank. Yeah. It's a little bit difficult to full hold or contest that one for that long.
You say it's an uphill struggle, Tridd, but it's more akin to a bloody wall, mate. Like, there's a wall with very few climbing holds on it. But ONE.PoinT, I think that there is potential for them to hold here. They have moved Latex over to that Reinhardt just to make sure they're a little bit more safe. But now Team Gigantti running out with the Reinhardt of their own. Again, like I said, absolutely they cannot allow a neutral battle to happen. They have to have this defender's advantage. They have to have good positioning right now.
Not taking the creative power thing, just bread and butter, head straight to the point. Zappa's contesting the high ground against Tex 3-6. He wants that to be able to rain this damage down from above. You can already see Eng going for that boop to move him away. Davin went down incredibly low, so did Milkyman. Gigantti on the back foot here as ONE.PoinT are pushing forward and not letting them have any space near the point. Zappa's trying to find that pin needle sight line for him to get some damage off. They're going to get up onto the high ground again. Davin still getting healed up, not going down. Latex stunned up. Health bars looking like music equalizes. Eng was about to drop something. It certainly wasn't the beat. So he was jumping onto the point himself. There's Graviton Surge. First one coming out from Mirror. Easily answered by the Transcendence from Zappe. Still going to be quite stalematey here, but they're doing work because the burden of time is on Gigantti, not ONE.PoinT. So the longer this goes on, the more advantageous it is for ONE.PoinT.
Yeah, really here. They don't want to take that fight with the Sound Barrier because they know they want to get the Diva Bomb and the Graviton up as well as the Shatter. This fight is going to be very easy as long as they move with the Self Barrier, but they don't get it in time.
Well, there's a charge after that Earth Shatter. The Transcendence is going to try and follow, but Scalar can't commit to that one. Milkyman planting an Earth Shatter into a shield during what pretty much was a lost fight for Gigantti. Not sure if that's the most optimal strategy, but you still got 4 minutes 15 to play with.
Yeah, and in this situation, that is a very, very dire mistake coming out from Milky because Zappis has the Diva Bomb. You always want to set this type of thing up, right? So the Diva Bomb can break shield mid-air of Latex, and then you have a free Shatter afterwards. Just dropping a Shatter in there towards the end of a fight, that's a huge mistake, and it's something that we did see last season, is there were a few mistakes coming out from Milkyman, and it seems that there are still a couple of those flaws coming through, although I have seen far better play from this season.
Yeah. Well, he closed down, slammed down the gavel. The only thing he sold out was his team, unfortunately. And Mirror going to drop that Graviton Surge, keeps Milkyman in position, self-destruct to buy some space. Gigantti using it defensively. The offensive one from ONE.PoinT didn't clap anyone. Latex now finally getting taken out by Facility. Zappe got the Orb of Discord. He's just throwing those hands. Nice movement coming out from Blank as well as he's imitating all the hands. They're going to push him into Mega, and Gigantti going to take control of the point. ONE.PoinT's looking dire. Mobility is the name of the game for ONE.PoinT. Horfix on the Tracer. Latex is on the Wrecking Ball. They want to get on it, but no one touches. Volskaya Industries goes to Gigantti, and you know what that means. Blank, the score line's now 3-0. Gigantti picking up the first series win of this season.
They're coming out explosively here. Control, close, yeah. I can vote Volskaya, not really so. This is the Team Gigantti we did see from last season. They had some ups and downs throughout the playoffs, right? A lot of the games did go very, very close, and maybe they're trying to go for something a little bit different this season. More of a 4-0 scoreline here.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to go do a quick break. When we come back, we're going to bring you the conclusion of this series. Hey everyone, welcome back. Team Gigantti just picked up their first series win of the season, and also the first series win of the season.
Yeah, I know,
They're
right?
our first matchup, and 1Point, they got one more map to play. We're of course going over to Rialto very shortly, and we see it all the time at the end of the season how much map difference actually affects in final standings. So although 1Point can no longer win the series, it will definitely play to their advantage to pick up Rialto here.
Yeah, it definitely would. So I think this is a map where it kind of favors Azaria because there are so many tight corridors here where Azaria can throw down the grab. You can get an Earth Shatter through as well as... basically, it's going to be down to the two Lucios at the beginning, though, whoever's on defense first, to try and knock the enemy off the bridge as they try and make their perilous passage across. But I do think this is a map where we will see both Zarias and Reinhardt shine.
Oh, well, one thing I know about Rialto, one thing I remember, is there's two school of thought.
I remember
the good old days. One thing I remember about Rialto is it's kind of a... two trains of thought when it comes to a point A defense. It's, are you gonna lock them in their spawn room and not let them out? Or are you gonna play around choke or the corner of courtyard, give them that early space, just so you have a more controlled fight and don't give away any momentum to the attacking team in terms of economy?
So, in that vein, you almost really do want to hold close most of the time because you can waste time for the enemy team. And then by the time the payload comes around the corner, you can already set up underneath that high ground, just on the first corner there, and have a great positioning as defenders. Let's see if I can point it out as we walk on through. So just in front of Davin here, just underneath that high ground is where you hold. And the reason you hold there is because a lot of times you want to drop down on the enemy team from high ground. You can't do this from here because there is so much opportunity from Lilbo, one of these great Lucios, to boop you back as you drop over the top. It looks like Team Gigantti are looking for the hold close, but at the moment they're just chilling. They're just chilling.
But there's also passive cover or passive shielding just awarded by the terrain and holding the corner. And Zappe, what you doing, buddy? He's already dead. You've already won the series. You don't have to be right-clicking people like that. Just salt in the wounds right now. And Team Gigantti just holding on this corner. They're going to retreat back into the courtyard, though. They're not going to quite plant their feet just yet. Dig in their heels, it's here where they're going to do it.
But this is the great thing, though, about Milky Man is playing in such an exceptional position because it means the Lucio can't go over the top and boop him back into the team. So you have to kind of take this flank and go over the high ground first. And already Team Gigantti, they are switching positions once again. And Zappe, he's looking for the miracle right click again.
And if it's not Lilbo who has that missed position, it's going to be Zappis who's going to knock him off the high ground with the rocket boosters. There's two options there for Team Gigantti, and although 1Point dropped onto the point, they are being forced back behind the payload yet again as Team Gigantti are able to sustain through all the damage. Milky Man going a little bit low, he has to be careful. I see a critical there, and the Transcendence is going to be brought out.
Now.
The overlap goes in favor of 1Point. Going to be boot back, trying to keep it away. Shatter.
Got it.
It's not going to be in that position for them. Don't even know what I'm trying to say here. Locked up onto the point. Team Gigantti going to be able to take out 1Point, force them back, but there's still plenty of time for 1Point to make an impact.
Yeah, I was really thinking there was like, Milky Man, you've got to make a big shatter right now to make sure that you win this fight. Because as soon as the Transcendence goes down and use aggressively like that, you pretty much have to find a pick straight away because you know Mirror is going to be waiting to drop down that grab as soon as the Transcendence ends. So well played to Milky Man there. Read Latex perfectly.
Dropping out and disrupting the intended plan for 1Point. Moving on to the payload again, Latex about to get a Earth Shadow of his own. Still sitting on the grab from Mirror. They got a sound barrier, and of course that self-destruct from Tech36. Horfik getting in the face of Milky Man. Grab gonna hold him and Davin together. Davin gonna get burst out. Nice sound barrier coming out from Lilbo to keep him alive. Milky Man from the side will get picked off by himself, and a big shatter from Latex seals the deal for the rest of the team. Zappe,
please kill me.
He's gonna go in front line. End my life, please, as he dies. And Zappis, he's stalling at the point longer to die quicker. Potentially get the reset and a faster fight so they can contest checkpoint A.
They will get a recontest here. They will move back in. Unfortunately, they will move for a choke, so they might have to use a couple of bubbles to make their way in, force a couple of resources. But there is the ult. He's going to have to turn around.
He's got two! Davin and Lilbo going to go down on this one. So they're going to go down with that grab as in pocket as well. Zappe going to be there with the Transcendence. It's already expired. The overlap's run out. They missed their window. Beautiful bomb placement from Tech36 punishes Gigantti's hurried state. And they get a hold of checkpoint A.
Yeah, it's a very smart self-destruct because it forces action from Team Gigantti. Did we turn around while our intention was to make it all the way to the point instead? And Tech36, he's had a lot of bombs like this all game. I think they're very, very calculated, very smart. So well played to Tech. It seems like he has been doing a little bit of grinding in the off-season on this D.Va.
It's nice to see. 1 point, moving around that corner. They got the high ground. Tech36. Gonna have to wait a little bit to get another self-destruct out of him, but Latex has got that hammer ready to drop. You don't want to force through this choke. It could be lethal. They're going to emerge with the rally, boom off the high ground, and go back to the payload because they still need to move that one around. That is kind of important on an escort map. Payload itself, as Latex is going to be sitting on top of that grab, not swinging his hammer, holding up the damage because he's locked in by Davin. Latex still getting that kill, throws the shadow down. It's big from the main tank. 1 point. Going to clear off Gigantti again and put it onto the home stretch of checkpoint B.
Let's unpack that fight though, Tridd, because a lot of things happened. The counter grab came through. Obviously, Latex is in a position to hit him with the hit the enemy grab with the hammer, and the bombs both go off. Latex understands that now he can shatter almost immediately because Milky Man wants to wait and shatter Latex, though he knows the shield is broken.
Well, Milky Man's about to be broken himself. HP going down low. Self-destruct coming out from Zappis, and the Transcendence is there. Gonna plant that Earth Shatter into nothing. Counter grab coming out from Mirror, and he's already got the kill onto Davin. Horthic going down low. He's got an ult available. Sound barrier's there. 1 point's done enough. Checkpoint B. They're gonna grab that one, roll it up nicely, shove it in their pocket, and they can have it later.
Mirror is terrifying. I think the guy looked in the mirror, he'd probably be scared of himself as well, as to be honest with you. So, well played to this guy, because look, he's already on 60% Tridd. He's just used his graviton.
But he's also on 60 energy, and he is hunting down Team Gigantti as they run back to their spawn room, clearing even more space for them to move this payload, and we're a 3-minute time bank. Completing Rialto is certainly not out of the question.
No, not at all. Davin has been hunted down, just like you're saying. They're giving him a lot of grind for when he tries to move on in, and it seems to be working for 1 point so far.
Definitely do not want to go out of this series with a 3-0. Looking to contest and get the 1 point they need from this matchup, and Rialto might be the map to do it, so they're pushing into the final section. Ults on the board for 1 point. Team Gigantti going to struggle to match them with this economy. Mirror pulls the trigger on that graviton surge. Self-destruct is there. Shatter mistimed with the self-destruct. Nice boot pushes them over, but it won't get caught out by Zappis' self-destruct. Transcendence about to run out for Scalar. Milky Man, he's got a shadow ready to go. Going to plant it. Not the most efficient usage. It didn't really hit anyone, Milky, as he moves onto the payload, forces them back. That's a shield broken on Latex, and the armor, that's going to fall shortly afterwards as well. Team Gigantti at the last hurdle, push back against 1 point.
I think it was 2 ultimates, actually 3 ultimates in the end there, that stopped them from basically a torrent of ultimates coming out from 1 point. That is a resource dream right there at the end of it. And I think Team Gigantti played it extremely well. Milky Man being very resilient there with the shielding, and then making sure Davin is staying alive in this fight is so key for all these healers. And now they come to understand it, knowing that at 1 point, they are forcing a lot of resources into taking Davin out of the fight early because they know they can win after that.
They want to take him out of the fight early in this instance. Blanking sitting on a graviton surge and just plants at his feet, jumps down from above, Eng shredded through as well. That's a nice, clean, easy, and very value fight for Team Gigantti.
Yeah, just a 1 grab, 1 win. But now you're coming up against Mirror's own graviton. Unfortunately, Tech36 doesn't quite get the ultimates as quick as Mirror at the moment. So they don't have anything to combo with at the moment. But now, what I want to see is Team Gigantti manage to get off this combo of the self-destruct into the shadow once the shield breaks. That would be probably the most efficient way to win this next fight without having to use double support ultimates, which they absolutely need to hold on to because we are only 1 minute left now.
Let's keep an eye on that one. Let's see what happens when we throw out these self-destructs. Gigantti can certainly deploy that a little bit earlier. They have the ults already, while 1 point's still building up. Mirror now has Graviton Surge online to potentially speed up the process for 1Point, maybe catch someone out of position, send it into the back line, especially if you can hold Milky at the payload, send it in the back of the room. Does make it quite difficult to have any cover, so they're going to emerge from the side. A lot of low HP bars for 1Point as Mirror goes down sub 50. The shield's coming back. Eng going down low as well. Graviton committed. Eng's about to get the sound barrier. Throws the shatter out. Milky Man disrupts the combo, and you can see the body block coming out from Scaler to block out the damage from the self-destruct tech. Now going to commit his self-destruct, blows up the shield. Latex has this information, but he doesn't have the shatter to commit to it as Facility clears out Horfik with 8 seconds remaining and 1 member down on 1Point. This should be Team Gigantti stopping 1Point from completing Rialto.
Mirror, the last one alive, other than Tex 36. That'll be ended. What looked like such a great push to begin with here, Tridd, actually ends just shy of the final point on point C here.
Well, we can say with absolute certainty this will be the last round of the series.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess so.
I mean, nothing else comes after this, Blank, in terms of this series.
You don't know. You don't know. I mean, you do know that at the end
All right,
of the day.
we'll just quickly pull out the Contenders rulebook. We'll redact that part about...
Flick on through.
Redact that score about scores meaning anything.
Yeah.
And then we'll go, you know what?
Get blank out of the room right now.
Yeah, that's in your contract.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the rulebook. Cross out score matters, and then put we play Lijiang.
We play Lijiang 5. Best of 5. Let's go. That's what I want
Best
to
of
see.
5. Old school combo.
Old school
where control was for some reason was 5.
Yeah, that was it was funny because control went from one of the quickest game modes, one of the longest game modes, to one of the quickest game modes in a matter of a night, which was pretty crazy. But now Team Gigantti, they're going to be ones who are attacking first. I don't think they won't have to make. They don't need to make this one quick. They do have a lot of time to make it all the way to the end there, and they're not pressured to fully cap, which is even nicer. So it does take some of the pressure off.
It does, but you basically got to push the payload pretty much to the point of capping. I mean, that was a sizable distance 1Point put in on their offensive run. So while the luxury of time may be with Gigantti, the luxury of distance is with 1Point.
Absolutely. They have a lot of areas that they can control, can hold on to during this series.
That's not kind, Mirror. You know you probably killed about 2 fish in there.
That was cruel.
Plus the residual radiation.
Like, check this out later. I'll just kill all these fish, mate.
I've heard of nuking fish in a barrel, but that's a little bit ridiculous.
Mortaring fish in a barrel in this case.
That'd be even more efficient. Eng's off to the side here. Look what he's trying to do. He's going to go for the wall riding. Coming for the poop. Timed it a little bit off, but unfortunately not going to find anyone. Fair enough. I mean, he should have gone. The lad should have gone for it.
Yeah, you've got to go for it. Absolutely.
Horfik's got to go somewhere, and I think it's back into cover because he lost most of his HP there. Just flanking them from both angles, keeping the damage coming on from up high, moving them around the corner, and they're going to press onto the courtyard and potentially find an alternative angle because every team likes playing around this corner for the reasons you mentioned already, Blank, about having that option to deny the drop down, but also, like I said, passive terrain. It's great to have cover. You're not using resources. You're going to have to use some resources to top up Facility, throwing his hands out from Zappe, getting closer to that Transcendence. Facility needs a lot of attention, though. He's being very aggressive.
He does, yeah. He's quite demanding, this lad, at the moment, isn't he?
Very needy.
Yeah, very needy indeed. But they do actually take the Graviton Transcendence to hold onto it a little bit longer, and they do survive it, Tridd.
Gonna throw that shatter down. Latex planting it right into the shield of Milky Man. No one to be found on that one. So committed the grab and the shatter. Only a Transcendence being burned from Team Gigantti. They're just taking their time. Now they want the high ground to force out Tech 36 and potentially change up the battlefield. Milky Man isolated. This could be a dangerous time for him, so the team has to commit to the drop down. Flame strike through the shield. He's got his shatter available. Transcendence about to run out. Zappis with a vanilla bomb finds 2. And they're going to lock up the rest of the team. Mirror gets their ult back out. Fantastic eat by Tech 36. Facility going to take out Horfik. Self-destruct still. Davin! You had a pot. What you doing, lad? Hide behind it.
Don't look at it.
For 1Point,
Eclipse.
Able to get themselves a solid defense here. Gigantti forced back. 2 minutes remaining. Still have to take control of the courtyard.
Yeah, Mirror is just providing so much pressure to...
Well,
oh, Eng!
No, it's not. That's not an Eng thing. That's a Milky Man problem.
That right there, that's Milky Man problem, that is. He's going to have to get some receipts for that boot right now.
Well, milk is denser than water, so obviously it's going to sink. So
That's true, that's true. You can get him when he comes back, can't you?
well, Eng's going to stay up on this high ground. Look at the elevation on this lad. The sheer, I mean, already.
The sheer size of this lad. Yeah, he's doing well for himself. Beat is available in this fight as well as, but it is the only thing for the time being. What a boot!
Straight into Milky Man. I think Eng was just stunned up there rather than Shatter. Team Gigantti had control of the fight though. Milky Man was isolated, but they weren't able to conquer after they conducted some division. Team Gigantti move on to point A.
Now, I actually think that was a whip shot coming out from Facility there, which did move Eng through into Mini, which prevented him from going for the sound barrier, which you ideally want to go for when you have the Earth Shatter out. But instead, they're going to use it for the re-engage.
May as well. Zappe sitting on the back line with a Transcendence. Latex will go down before he gets himself the Earth Shatter. Mirror is going to commit the Graviton Surge on top of the payload. They move that Transcendence through the chokehold. Team Gigantti still funneling kills, funneling ult charge, and they're going to keep this ball rolling into checkpoint B.
Yeah, now we come out to Streets. Now, Streets is usually a breeze on most maps,
yeah.
And it's a lot easier here on Rialto as well as because a lot of the times the corners can be taken quite easily, but most teams will hold just shy of point B there to make sure they have the high ground advantage as well as they can set up there and drop down on the enemy team. The main concern for me right now is that Davin has a full grav ahead of Mirror right now.
He's lapped him.
He's lapped him. He's bloody lapped him. And Lilbo also has a sound barrier coming up. ONE.PoinT, however, they have no supportive ultimate, so it's going to be a lot of violence that has to come out of ONE.PoinT very quickly.
Oh, big shatter through the payload from Latex, and we're talking about potential momentum play for Team Gigantti. They've just lost all of it off the back of that. Zappe, they're off taking a dip, and Latex, the man of the hour, going to move through and clean out Milky Man. Nice retake from ONE.PoinT.
Lilbo.
Come on, get away.
Get off. Yeah, Latex has popped off quite a few times during this entire series. To be honest here, his shatters are pretty damn good. I think his Winston has been damn good as well as, and I think that's what it comes down to is that the mind games between Milky Man and Latex are the biggest things that I am seeing at the moment. And a lot of times Latex does get the better of Milky Man.
Could be quite a problem for Team Gigantti. Main tank losing out the head-to-head, but I think a lot more goes into it. He's pinned up against the wall.
Latex again! Pulling on the gloves!
He sends him for a bit of a dip, Milky Man, putting the shatter into nothing. That's a bit of a resource wasted, but the fight certainly isn't over. No one seems to be too jarred by that experience. Only the pride of Milky Man.
And bloody hell, it's hurt. It's hurt.
It's stinging a bit.
It's a deep cut.
It's a deep cut. Mirror's up above. He went for a long-range grab there onto the back line. Successful. Self-destruct right on top of the team. Shield is there, but it still finds two. Lilbo and Facility going to be dropping down. 1 minute 15 remaining. You said Streets were a breeze, Blank, but who are you talking about?
Well, for ONE.PoinT, it seems that it's not a breeze. They're a tornado coming at Team Gigantti, and they've really got to work on their foundations here to make sure that they're not blown over in the end.
Lilbo, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. We're going to keep on going with this one. Team Gigantti trying to find the yellow brick road, click their heels together, and hopefully end at the end of Rialto. They need to get through this tunnel, and the flying monkeys of ONE.PoinT are going to be oppressing them even more.
It's the second time Facility's knocked him off the high ground, but there is a grab available very shortly here.
Well, someone just got charged off screen.
Yeah, Latex was taken hostage.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Hostile takeover coming from Team Gigantti.
Yeah.
They've had enough of the shenanigans. They know they've got 30 seconds remaining to get it onto the home stretch. Still, there's opportunity for recontest by ONE.PoinT because they can get there in time and contest checkpoint B.
Yeah, 22 seconds remaining. Only a rally and the shatter coming out from Team Gigantti. ONE.PoinT, however, their economy looks a little bit better, but they got a touch now, Tridd.
Latex moving forward. He's going to get onto the payload. Graviton Surge nice and early from Mirror. That might be the difference maker if Latex can get something done. Fires in with the charge.
Oh,
Shatter gets dropped. So does Milky Man. Eng picks up the first kill of the match, but they have to keep going. Team Gigantti cannot step off the payload because overtime is in effect. They're trying to punch away that
They might come back.
They're going onto the backline though. Team Gigantti, one thing about them is they're resilient, but they have to deal with Mirror. He's got 3 damage on him. The self-destruct keeps them away long enough to buy more time. Zap is being burned down. He has the self-destruct to his own. Protected barrier comes on cooldown. He still finds Horfik. They level up the playing field. Milky Man, he's back here with the Wrecking Ball just to get back there in time.
Almost
but it's
a grab
for this one. Grab available for Mirror again, but the counter grab comes out.
Now, Davin going so low, but like you were saying earlier, they're so resilient, just like cockroaches, and they take point B.
Tell you what, who's not a cockroach? Zappe there, man of the hour with the DPS. He's been fragging out all series, and he's going to move this one into checkpoint C. So, not as breezy as we thought it was going to be.
Not at all,
as easy on the streets phase. Final section of Rialto. 1 point. They have to defend for 1 minute 10. And it's basically the checkpoint of completion.
It's a soldier's minute. It all comes down to this, where they can take this last map away from them and have a final attempt at dominance.
Nice and easy for Latex. Good shatter onto Milky Man. They want to take control early, and if they can push him off the payload here, buys them even more time to mount the defense. But Gigantti, they're pulling back, waiting for those cooldowns before they go back in for the next engagement. But while they're doing this, the payload's not in motion. They're just playing into 1Point's hands. They need to make sure whatever move they make, it's going to be the right one. Self-destruct up in the air. You're not going to get anything done here. Flame Strike thrown from long range. Now it's time for Mirror's grab. Wait a minute. There's Tech 36 with the bomb. Not going to find anyone. Will break the shield. Davin off to the side. Lilbo takes out Latex. Davin again. Going to commit that shadow. Milky Man charges off screen. Where's he going? I don't know. Let's focus on Zappis fragging out on Tech 36. 15 seconds remaining. One more fight should decide it. And they're in the spawn of 1 point.
That's all they have left. And 2 massive momentum ultimates here. They have the sound barrier and the rally Tridd. 1 point, however, they have pretty much nothing.
Gonna be sending that wrecking ball in with a pile driver. David's already found Eng. He's gonna drop down nice and early, but they're playing outside the spawn. He can get back quick. Horfik picked off by Lilbo. Team Gigantti, they're playing on the checkpoint. 0.89 meters to spy them from that 4-0 victory in their first outing of Contenders Season 1 2019. And they're putting the Graviton Surge out to seal the deal. Team Gigantti, clean sheet to start off the season.
4-0. What an outing it was, Tridd indeed. 1 point, they almost bring it back towards the end there. Looks a little bit scary for Gigantti. But you know what? They come into it in a big way after just winning the Season 3.
Really got shaky there on checkpoint B in the streets phase, where 1 point still being resilient. And you've got to give 1 point credit. Like we say, we're talking about this very stable team, this constant team coming in from Season 3, and 1 point being put together in the off-season. And they're able to put up a solid performance against our Season 3 champions. So I don't think that's a match to be disappointed in at all.
No, not at all. And you know what, Mirror? What a player this guy is.
Latex as well.
Latex as well. Like, he's come into this. It seems the Zarya and the main tank have been absolutely crucial to this team so far. I think Eng has performed exceptionally as well as. But Davin and Milky Man, to me, though, really, it's all about Davin. And you know what? 1 point also know that, which is why they have such great target call, such great focus as soon as Davin makes any mistakes when it comes down to positioning.
Came to Volskaya Industry, very strong outing or very strong first performance on Volskaya from 1 point. And then I think it's just a case of Gigantti getting a read on them, knowing what they had to do, making those adaptations on the fly, and it gave them the victory on Volskaya to win the series.
You were talking about that, Tridd, weren't you, about making these on-the-fly decisions, on-the-fly adaptations, and I think that's something that Gigantti does extremely well all the time. They know exactly what they want to do and how they want to do it, and if there's anything that catches them off guard, it doesn't catch them off guard again.
And I think that comes from the experience of this roster more than anything. You look at some of the names on here, they've been around in the comp Overwatch game for a very long time. They've been around the block, and then some in some cases. Like I said, that's Team Gigantti picking up the first win of the first season Contenders Europe 2019. And Blank, I'm fairly satisfied with what Team Gigantti are going to do this season. It's given me confidence in them to potentially even contest for that championship this time around.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think if anything coming into this one with a 4-0, it's very, very promising for the rest of the season here. I think if anything needs to be sorted, it might be the main tank role, Milky Man here. I still think that mechanically the guy is incredible and a lot of times makes some really, really smart decisions. But there's also the decisions where he just lays down the hammer while it's firing them down. So the panic might need to be kind of worked out a little bit. But other than that, pretty damn happy.
This is the kind of argument I brought into last season about Milky Man. And it's this, we accepted the fact that he was a bit of a, I referred to him constantly as a fixer-upper. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the problem is like he was able to stand on his own. The issue that Milky Man has isn't with Milky Man. It's that he's stood with some pantheons of Overwatch in his team. His mistakes are heightened. And we're going to speak to one of those pantheons right now as we jump into a quick little chat with Lilbo.
Yes, hello.
Hello, Lilbo.
Hey up.
How are you?
I'm good. I won, obviously, so I'm good.
Right. Well, first of all, congratulations on the first win of the season. You were our Season 3 champions. Is it looking like the Season 1 victories on the cards for you as well?
I would say it's looking pretty good for us right now in scrims and like in the atmosphere of the team. Everyone is hungry for victory, so I think right now it's looking good.
So, One.PoinT actually put up more of a fight than we thought they were going to be able to. Did that catch you off guard at all in this match?
Well, we actually had no idea what they will do because we had no information. They have obviously a pretty new roster, but I would say they did pretty much what we expected. I think they played a bit better than what we expected, actually. We expected this roster to be a bit weaker.
They certainly surprised us at all over here in the studio. Blank, you had a nice little question lined up for Lilbo as well.
Yeah, man. I think both Lucios in this game were really great. I think some of your sound barriers were awesome as well as. But Aang really showed up for me in a way. How do you think he did on One.PoinT?
I don't know. Sometimes doing good and sometimes a little bit feeding. Like what he did on Volskaya defense was pretty weird when he was alone on the point contesting. Like I think he should have died a lot more faster. But I fucked up myself on Volskaya. I did a few mistakes, so not much I can say.
No, man. I think your performance says it all. I think you were a damn good Lucio.
Yeah, well, you know, performance spoke for itself. Came out with a 4-0 victory. Lilbo, thank you very much for talking to us and good luck with the rest of your matches this season.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Well, Blank, you heard it from the man himself. He knows he made some mistakes, still some work to be done on Team Gigantti, and he said he didn't want to commit to that Season 1 victory, but he says, hey, it's looking pretty good.
Indeed it is.
Right, well, that's all from us. We're going to throw to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have Shoes Money Crew versus British Hurricane.